So over the weekend, BTT viewer A. Rice tweeted me this meme. You either die a prince or live long enough to become Uncle Phil. This is, of course, a reference to Will Smith's breakout role in the 90s sitcom The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and the joke is as on target as Deadshot himself. Yes, the former movie star, who famously calculated his entire career by analyzing box office results, is in the process of trying to reinvent himself, as clearly his original formula no longer works. And right now, the box office is pretty much just saying one thing loud and clear: comic book movies. Yes, welcome back to Suicide Squad Case Files, introducing you to each member of the team, as well as the actors who will bring them to life on the big screen in 2016. Now, Will Smith is also known for only willing to be in movies where he's the star, a rule that's so important to him that he turned down what he felt was not the lead role in Django Unchained. So what's he doing in this ensemble? Well, truth be told, Deadshot kind of is the star of Suicide Squad. Sure, he's not a founding member like Joel Kinnaman's Rick Flag, but Deadshot actually has the longest run on the team, with none other than Captain Boomerang a close second. That's right! This crazy lineup for the movie is actually pretty accurate, as you'll find out as we continue with Suicide Squad Case Files. So, like I said, Smith demands that his characters be something special, and surely Deadshot's origin story helped pique Smith's interest in taking on the role. See, originally, Floyd Lawton was another member of high society in Gotham, with his very own butler, and as the popular vigilante Deadshot, he threatened to replace Batman. Only once Batman discovered that Deadshot was in cahoots with the criminal element, intentionally going after smaller crimes to distract from the big ones, was the Deadshot signal dismantled. Yes, Lawton comes from a very wealthy but troubled family. The basics are that his parents were cruel, manipulative people, and when his brother Ed tried to kill his father, ordered to do so by their mother, Floyd accidentally shot and killed his brother when trying to merely stop him. Years later, a revenge plot orchestrated by his mother would lead to the rape and murder of his son by pedophile Wes Anselm. Deadshot killed Anselm, but obviously became even more troubled by the ordeal. Some of this history could show up in the Suicide Squad movie, but these days in the comics, the bottom line with Floyd Lawton is that he's an assassin for hire who never misses, but because of his intense self-hatred, he also has a death wish. The only thing that seems to keep him going is his young daughter Zoe, who doesn't know what her father does for a living. Although, keeping his daughter in the dark has allowed Amanda Waller to use Zoe as a bargaining chip on more than one occasion. Oh yeah, and there's one other relationship that Deadshot has become well known for, his friends with benefits situation with fellow team member Harley Quinn. When the New 52 launched, fans were not only surprised to see Harley Quinn on the Suicide Squad, and by what she was wearing, but that she'd gotten a new man in her life, Deadshot. Now, no one ever really moves on from the Joker, as Deadshot found out in both the comics and the recent animated film Assault on Arkham, so now he finds himself part of one of the weirdest and most popular love triangles in comics. Or is that love square, counting Poison Ivy? That Harley sure gets around. Either way, this new connection has significantly raised Deadshot's profile, enough so that readers were caught off guard when Warner Brothers announced a black actor would be playing the character for the movie. No word yet on if this change will be reflected in the comics, but if the movie's popular enough. After all, Samuel L. Jackson's popularity as Nick Fury on the big screen led Marvel to introduce Nick Fury's long-lost son into their main continuity, as Nick Fury had only been portrayed as black in the Ultimate Comics line, an alternate universe. See, after decades of whitewashing in Hollywood, Tinseltown suddenly seems to be reversing the trend due to the growing popularity of comic book movies and the need to diversify casts after Boffo's successes like the Fast and Furious movies. By the way, comics are in the midst of trying to diversify themselves. This new trend started out with Nick Fury and Perry White, but will expand to major characters, first with Michael B. Jordan's Johnny Storm and then Will Smith's Deadshot. How these two characters are received will be a major test to see if Hollywood should continue to diversify. Although, the recent nasty backlash from fans over the idea of using Miles Morales instead of Peter Parker for the third Spider-Man series was not a good sign. But while the Human Torch and Spider-Man are well-known characters, despite being around since 1950, Deadshot is not. And he's even done some pretty badass stuff. For instance, when he was ordered to stop fellow Suicide Squad member Rick Flag from killing a corrupt senator by any means necessary, his solution was to kill the senator himself. So what we've got here is a somewhat sympathetic, badass villain with a juicy backstory, arguably the star of the Suicide Squad, ties to incredibly popular characters Batman, Harley Quinn, and the Joker, plus he's still something of an empty vessel. No wonder Smith took the part. After all, Smith desperately needs a new defining role. He turned down Independence Day 2, Bad Boys 3 is taking forever, while Hancock 2 appears to have disappeared into development hell, and Men in Black is being merged with Jump Street for some cinematic universe parody that Sony is hyped about, but maybe Smith isn't. Then, of course, there are recent box office bombs 7 pounds, After Earth, and Focus. Speaking of Focus, that film featured the first pairing of Smith and Margot Robbie, with the tabloid saying sparks flew on and off camera. That rumor was further fueled by the two actors signing on to play lovers once again here in Suicide Squad before Focus even hit theaters. So, can David Ayer turn Smith's career around? The former screenwriter turned writer-director did do all right by Denzel. On-set photos reveal a costume pretty darn true to the comics and a daughter. But in a movie this crowded, will Smith's Deadshot get the character development needed to really make an impression with audiences? Plus, there's another Mark with a mouth hitting theaters in 2016, and he also wears red and black. It'll be hard for Smith's Deadshot to compete with the comic book character Ryan Reynolds was born to play. And finally, because hardcore fans demand to know, will this Deadshot smoke? What do you think? Can Smith finally make Deadshot a household name? Or will this be another misfire in what's getting to be a pretty long list at this point? Write your thoughts down below. I'm Grace Randolph, and be sure to tell me who you want to see explored next on Suicide Squad Case Files. Harley Quinn and Amanda Waller are available to watch right now.